So I was talking with a client yesterday and he wanted to ask me a little bit more around what is and what is not a relapse. And so he sent me over a message saying what engagement looks like, because it's more than just looking at porn and masturbating. I've realised through this process that it's anything having to do with your compulsive behaviour that gets your dopamine going. Just typing in search bars keywords that put up website details but doesn't show pictures, looking at blurred pictures, bikini pictures, non-nude pics, reading porn, starting to masturbate without finishing. But I would also like answered, if you have flashbacks in your mind of porn, is it engaging in your compulsive behaviour? If you can't stop thinking about these videos or images. So yeah, really good question again. And what I would say is, if you're questioning whether something is engaging or not, that is the addicted part of the mind trying to get you into a state of helplessness. So this is really, really key for anyone going through any compulsive behaviour right now. Just knowing this. When you're in an addiction, the addicted part of the mind is just going to constantly try and put you into a state of helplessness. If the addicted part of the mind can put you into a state of helplessness, the chances of you engaging are a lot higher. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to engage. Just because you're in a state of helplessness doesn't mean you're going to engage, because you've always got your options. You've always got option A, option B. You've always got a script, if you're like one of our clients, that you can read through and just think through the choice, like this guy. So, you don't need to worry too much about these feelings of helplessness, because you've got your script, and the script is what empowers you and gets you out of those feelings of helplessness, because it actually gives you the ability to think through rationally and make a choice. But all these thoughts of what is a relapse, what's not, bikini pics, blurred images, typing in search bars, all this stuff to get the dopamine going, it's like, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to spend time thinking over what is engaging and what's not engaging. We're going to just spin out into a state of helplessness and get all confused, am I engaging, am I not engaging? Or are we just going to go, okay, I know what is reasonable, I know what is not reasonable. Now, if you've paid a decent bit of money to try and quit an addiction, which this guy has, and you are serious about quitting, and even if you've not paid any money and you're not a client, just, regardless of that, if you're serious about quitting an addiction, are you going to fuck with it? Are you going to mess around and type in stuff in the search bar, teasing yourself, getting that dopamine going? Are you going to fantasize? Are you going to think about porn videos? Are you going to consider engaging in your compulsive behaviour? Or are you going to go, you know what, this is a serious issue. I am in control of myself. I have a choice to make here. I am wanting to engage in my compulsive behaviour right now, and I can engage in my compulsive behaviour. And then you read through your script. You connect to the fact that in that moment that you're considering engaging, in that moment that you're even fantasizing about all these different possibilities, in that moment right there, you want to engage in the compulsive behaviour. And so you've got a critical choice to make for yourself in that moment. And you have to choose, what do you want to do? Right there and then, what are you going to do? What am I choosing to do and why? And you think through the choice. You make a decision. And then you carry on with your day. Because all of these thoughts, all of these questions are created by the addicted part of the mind. And we want to get out of that state of mind and have this peace of mind where we know we are in control of ourselves. We can choose to engage if we want. But we know that if we engage, we're going to have all these severe consequences. And we don't really want that for our life. So we want to engage, but we don't want the consequences of engaging. And that's why it's crucial in those moments that all those thoughts come up, which are all just junky thoughts, that we just go to the script and read through it. And if you have to read through your script 10 times because you're unsure, read through your script 10 times. If you're unsure whether something is engaging or not engaging, read through your script, because that feeling of being unsure is the addicted part of the mind, which tells you that you are wanting to engage in that moment. And so it's not a question of, am I wanting to engage? Am I not wanting to engage? It's not a question of, is this porn? Is it not porn? The thing that you need to do in that moment is get away from the questions, because they're actually unanswerable, and instead get to your script and read through and think through the choice and get back into that state of mind where you're like, okay, I'm empowered. I know that I can engage. I can go around in circles in my head trying to answer these questions that can't be answered and spin out into a state of helplessness. I can do all of that if I want, but then I'm just back in the addiction, because eventually where that's all leading is back to looking at porn, because you want to get out of that anxious I said that wrong. You want to get out of that anxious state. You're not going to want to feel unsure of yourself. You're not going to want to feel unsure whether something is engaging or whether it's not engaging. And that's exactly what the addicted part of the mind's trying to do. It's trying to get you into that state where you're so full of anxiety and you're so not sure of yourself, you're so low in confidence and self-esteem that you go, fuck it, I'm just going to engage because I don't want to feel all this anxiety. So it's really, really clever, but that is how the addicted part of the mind works. And I've been working with Mary Portis for a long time now, and this was one of the biggest sort of breakthroughs I had, is really understanding the addicted part of the mind on this level, of understanding that the addicted part of the mind does whatever it can to get you into that state of helplessness. And it's really, really important to go beyond that by reading through a script and just feeling empowered to make your choice. Option A, option B, what am I choosing to do right now and why? Am I going to get sucked into a vortex of unanswerable questions that are going to get me all anxious and wanting to engage even more so I can get out of the anxiety? Or am I going to make a choice for myself that I'm going to willingly accept some temporary discomfort, see all these questions for what they are, which is just junky thinking, it's just the addicted part of my mind, it's not actually that scary, it's just a part of my mind that's wired in a certain way due to addictive neural pathways, and that's just how neuroscience works. And I am going to make a choice to change that by willingly accepting the temporary discomfort, disconnect those neural pathways, and move on with my life and choose to do something that actually empowers me instead of something that weakens and destroys my confidence. So you always have that choice, option A, option B. I hope that makes sense. It's a little bit of a complicated thing to get your head around, and I know if you're new to this and maybe you're not in the program, it may seem even more strange and weird because I may be talking a language which doesn't make sense right now, but hopefully one day it will. So yeah, I really hope that does help. If you do want to learn more about the Beyond Compulsion method, I recommend watching the free training. I'll leave a link in the description. There's also a test as well if you want to figure out if you are addicted to porn or not, and you'll get a score from me out of 100. Go check that out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.